Get ready for the Hustle Northwest podcast, where Oregon's dreamers, doers, and entrepreneurs share their stories. Get inspired, get motivated, and get ready to hustle. Now, here are your hosts, Brian and Carrie.
Hey, we're back for a new year. We've got a new podcast, and we bring back an old favorite, Finn Joseph.
An old favorite.
An old favorite.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. No, that's
an
perfect.
oldie but goodie.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I'm going to be turning 30. I'm not that old.
Hey, 30 is a big year.
Oh, it will be. Yeah.
You got a full beard growing out now. You're gonna be like Gandalf. You know, it's gonna keep growing. And
well, last time I saw you guys, I remember I had just a little bit of fuzz, and it was about February last year that I was here, and because I maybe mentioned it, I think I mentioned it on the last podcast that we had. It was New Year's Eve last year, so 2023, December 3rd, of the 2023 going into 2024, and I had a gig up in Portland, and I got a new clipper for my Christmas, and it was just like kind of a basic rudimentary one. Yeah. And I started trying to trim my beard, and I was like, oh my God, what did I do? And it was about what it was at that time, maybe a little bit more actually, and I was
you just insulted his beard.
No, I just created this modern art masterpiece, and I was like, I gotta just shave it off, and I was like, this is horrible. This is horrible.
I know what you mean. Like you moved a little too much on. I'm like, oh no.
Mine's, it wasn't even a little bit too much. It was like I might as well have closed my eyes and done it. It was horrible.
Like in the dark.
Yeah, I know. It was like, whoa, dude. It's like you're supposed to learn how to shave when you're in your teens. No, so it was, and that was the first time I ever really grew a beard. Yeah. In 2023, and one time I was actually at my brother's house, and he throws these great barbecues in McMinnville. And there was like a group of the gals who, you know, the plus ones and like, you know, our friends and family and stuff all were around. This is when my beard was pretty fresh. Yeah. And they were all like, oh, we were just talking about you. And I was like, oh, really? And they're like, yeah, we're all saying how much we like the beard. I'm like, a bunch of ladies saying how much they like the beard. I'm like, okay, this is a sign. This is a sign. Hide more of this. Hide more of it, you know? Hide more of this.
We should do a side-by-side.
It makes you look more mature and mysterious.
It does. Yes.
We could say, like, here's when he came on the first time, here's when he came on the second time. He was a boy, and now he's a man.
Oh, yeah, I've grown up. I'm mature.
He's going to be 30.
From magician to mentalist.
Yeah. Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, no, so...
cut into different, like, weird shapes, like Doctor Strange or something.
Yeah, oh, gosh, yeah. Yeah, no, there's some guys who do that. There was actually this an amazing mentalist. He had a very unique style. I mean, he kind of almost looked like somebody you'd see in Star Trek. His name was Max Maven. He passed away. May he rest in peace. Yeah. But Max Maven, who I learned a lot from his books and stuff like that, he had the most just like... It was like a real doctor. It looked like something from Doctor Strange, or he looked like something from like I think Star Trek. You know, it looks like from like a sci-fi thing.
Did he have like the little curls and stuff going on?
It was more just like this real sleek down. I mean, you know, when I first saw the guy, this was years and years ago when I was really naive and a lot more just like a sleight of hand magician versus a mentalist. And I saw him, and I was, my naive self was like, who dresses all weird like this? And then I started listening to him talk and stuff like that in his lectures. I'm like, oh, you're a genius. You know, it's like, so you never judge a book by its cover. So
okay, but hold on. Who's Doctor Strange? How have I not heard
like the Marvels? The Marvel superheroes, Doctor Strange.
How do I not know who this is?
See, I watched this with the girls, like Addie. We watch all the
Brian
Marvel
will like
stuff.
go through like all the Marvel stuff with our kids.
I had comics as a kid. She didn't have comics.
Comics.
I didn't really have comics either. We had cartoons. Like by that point in time, you know. Not to date you, sir, but it was like, you know, it was like...
We had devices?
Yeah, no, we had... Well,
I had entertainment.
I didn't even have devices. We had, like, Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon and stuff like that.
I had that as a kid, too.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's been around a while.
Yeah, well, with, like, what? Yeah, Johnny Quest and Tom and Jerry.
They were black and white,
yeah,
I'm just going to say.
And the little box tees, you know. Yeah, no, exactly.
Well, well, thanks.
Yeah, so it was Doctor Strange. He was like a wizard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like on the most recent Marvel movies too?
It has been, yeah.
There's people out there that are going to be listening to this cringing, like, how does she not know who this person is?
Oh, I am so bad with Marvel movies. I used to love...
They're amazing, though.
I used to love Marvel movies and, like, you know, like the old Spider-Man where Tobey Maguire was the Spider-Man. Yeah. See, those are some of my favorite movies. Yeah. But nowadays, people are like, have you seen Avengers? And I'm like, the first one, they're like, what? I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm actually really bad with movies in general. Yeah. Like, I'm like one of those guys who I watch like the same 12 movies, like, and then I just kind of wait until I forgot about it, and then watch like 3 years later or 2 years later.
You see, you had the box set, and it's like, hey, I don't need to.
Yeah, no. It's
Get
like
a subscription, anything.
I mean, it was like I watched Forrest Gump with my mom actually. I don't know, sometime like a couple months ago, and I was like, okay, that's great. I can't wait until I watch that again in maybe 2.5, 3 years. You know, when it's kind of like not fresh in my head. You know,
I don't feel so bad because I'll sit there and I'll tell Brian, I'm like, oh my gosh, I saw this preview for this amazing movie. It's like, and I start telling him, and he's like, Carrie, we watched that. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, we watched it like 2 years ago. I'm like, no, I just heard about it now. He's like, I promise you didn't. And we'll get like a third of the way in, and I'm like, oh, I remember this now, but I don't know what's happening next.
Right.
Yeah, so I have, what's that called? Goldfish memory?
Yeah.
She does it with the books too. She has a couple books in her nightstand that she's read a couple of times, I think. So it's like, that was really good. I'm going to start out from the beginning.
I'm like, look at this book I found. Right?
Oh, no, there's a lot of great movies. I mean, I do that with movies and TV shows. I mean, there's some TV shows like, I wouldn't say, it would sound like pretentious to say I don't have time for it because it's just like, it's not really in my realm of,
it's not high on your priority.
Yeah, no, well, I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of magic stuff. I watch sports. I love football. I love MMA. I love, I have my digest, but it's just TV shows and movies. I don't really watch.
It's hard to have, you've got to find your niche with, because there's only so many hours in the day.
Exactly.
And, Carrie and the girls, they love, the sitcom shows.
So good.
And I was like, I can't stand this.
I can only watch a few of them.
He can listen to it, if we're going through it one time, that's fine. If we're going through the whole series one time, he's good. It's when we start rewatching it, he comes in and he's like,
one of my best friends, he used to be like, I would spend every 1 or 2 days at his house, and he'd go to my house in the summertime. And his dad had a girlfriend who had some kids, and they were a bit younger than us. And they would watch Family Guy, and they would literally watch it I could not believe how it was they would watch it.
They got quote the stuff.
I started being able to quote it just from listening to them.
That's a good series.
I would say that one he can sit there and watch.
Family Guy is a very funny show, but the thing is, I can only watch the same episode. Okay, after 4 or 5 times, I feel like I might get a little tired of it if I don't give it a break. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like The Simpsons and some of those old classics. I remember that episode.
Yeah. The Simpsons is one that you got to learn, I think, when to hang. I don't blame the people though, because if I was getting a check waved in my face for how many millions of dollars that they get, I would probably keep doing it. It's I feel like they jumped the shark back. I mean, gosh, when I was in middle school
late
or something,
90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, it was they were kind of done at that point. I'm pretty sure they're still going, are they?
They are. Well, so I watched a show. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and they have somebody on there now. Is Jennifer Tilly. She's the actress from Chucky and everything. Okay, so her ex-husband is the creator of The Simpsons, and when they got divorced, he gave her a chunk of the proceeds from what's it called, royalties or something like that from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And not knowing that the show was going to go as long as it was, so she's this crazy millionaire, and she's always like, I thank my ex-husband. He was good to me in the divorce.
That must be so nice. You just flip a channel ooh, I'm getting paid again.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. It's cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah, those royalties. Did you guys know that the Simpsons writer is actually from Oregon and that is based in Oregon?
So that is okay. So
I don't have a museum.
No, there's a whole Springfield thing where it's Springfield, Massachusetts. Is it? There's another.
Whatever.
Yeah, Missouri.
Yeah.
So is it Missouri?
Yeah.
Okay. So they basically argue against Oregonians that it's our Springfield, and Oregonians are like, no, it's our Springfield. And so there's different references, that's in Oregon. Well, that's in our state too. And so it's this long-standing.
I would have to look at it. I just know, and Matt Groening is from Portland, I believe.
Okay,
so
see, there you go.
That's why I think part of it is. But anyway, TV and
Oregon
stuff.
ones.
Yeah. But no, my big one is I watch sports. That's kind of my digest. And
what's your favorite sport to watch?
Probably my MMA. I love watching MMA. I love football too. But the thing is, and it's I don't think I have ADHD or anything. But these days, unless it's a team that I really like, I can't just sit down with 2 teams. I don't know, unless it's a big game or whatever.
You need buy-in.
Well, it's 3.5 hours or something, and all these commercials and all this stuff, and it's that takes up. If you watch 2 football games on a Sunday, which some people do, some people watch 3, and it's
tough,
that's a lot. That's your whole day is football.
Yeah.
And it's I like with MMA because even if you watch the whole event, it's it's like individuals, and it's just like the fights are so long, and it's like you'll never see a football game where one team is so dominant over the other. They go out there and they just win in the first 2 minutes of the game.
It's definitely going 2 to 3 hours, where an MMA fight might go 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, exactly. Oh no, exactly. I love it. And
who's your favorite MMA fighter?
I mean, that's hard for me to pick, honestly.
He's like all of them.
Oh yeah, well no,
I just love the sport.
Yeah, I'd say I don't. That's a good question. Probably Oregon's own Chael Sonnen. Probably, he was an old timer,
What's his name?
Chael Sonnen.
Chael?
Yeah, he's from West Lynn.
Okay.
And he was like the guy before Conor McGregor that did all like the bad guy kind of like they call him pro wrestling, like the heel.
Yeah.
And he did like that, and he was very, very charismatic, and he apparently tried to run for like Congress here in Oregon and stuff. But
I would have voted for him.
Yeah, but he was a very, very good fighter and all that stuff, and he's a pretty big name in the MMA media community now. But yeah, he's from West Lynn, so I like him because he's Oregon's own.
Yeah.
So we have Simpsons, we have MMA. Yeah. What else does Oregon have?
Yeah. So gosh, we're horrible. The Blazers never pick great basketball players.
Hey, they did when we were younger. Like,
they only missed
Drexler and all.
But it's not like they had a chance to pick Michael Jordan or Kevin Durant. They wouldn't pass up on those or anything like that.
We had.
It doesn't matter how many good picks you miss Michael Jordan.
I know. I know. That's funny. We had shirts when we were younger. So my parents actually found out. This was like back before they would like barricade things off where you couldn't get to the players. So
sure.
My parents one night they all of a sudden take my brother and I, and they're like, the Blazers are coming off the plane. We get to like see. So we like go line up, and they're like coming off the plane, and they're signing our shirts with like Sharpies. Mm-hmm. My mom washed mine.
Oh.
And so we have this blazer, and we're like so proud, and like we're gonna tell our friends about it and everything. And then I take it, like I go to wear it to school, and it looks like it's written in highlighter everywhere, and you can barely see any of them.
Oh,
and to this day, I'm like, do you remember when you washed my blazer shirt? Mom's like, sorry about that. I'm like, do you know how much that would be worth right now?
Oh, yeah.
With like all the 90s
It would have been
players.
a good Tide commercial,
right? Yeah.
There's people. Sometimes you have things that. You don't know that, like my dad, he had, he was telling us a story a couple weeks ago or something. I hang out with my parents all the time. They're like, they're going to watch this. I love you guys. But, they are.
Ours are too, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. We got 4 people watching. We got 4 people watching. But,
we're going places.
No, but yeah, exactly. Well, maybe we'll get it to 5 or 6. But, so my dad was telling me about, with Leonard Skinner, because my dad is from Detroit.
Okay.
And so lots of concerts, especially back in the day. And he used to go to a lot of them. He was kind of a crazy kid before he joined the military. And he was, I forget the year that this actually took place, but the band Leonard Skinner, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but they had like a horrific plane crash.
Yeah.
And they were, I think my dad was like 17 or 18 at the time, and he was going to go to a concert for them, and he had the tickets and all that stuff. And then like, I forget what happened. I think like that's like when the plane crash happened.
Oh, that was the concert they were supposed to go to.
And then, then like the plane crash happened, and then my dad, I forget what he said. He got rid of the tickets, and like he was just a 17-year-old. He's throwing them in the garbage. Where I was like, those would probably be worth a lot of money now. They would be worth a lot of money now. So yeah, he you don't regret it.
Hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah. Or then like he had one time he was at a Cheap Trick concert, and then the guy threw the guitar pick in the crowd, and like the lights turned on. My dad does not have good eyesight, and he looked down, the guitar pick was like right between his feet. But he kept that one. He did keep that one.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. One of the best ones actually he has, and it's up in there. Is maybe shouldn't say is people try to find them and get these, but it's like they have Haight and Ashbury signs from San Francisco before his people started taking them so often. They painted, like the hippie capital of the world, Haight and Ashbury Street. They have signs that somebody pulled down from like in the 60s from Haight and Ashbury Street, and then now they just paint them on the walls. And those
but he has like an actual sign.
No, they so one of his friends, this crazy dude Eddie, pulled them down and he gave them to him. So those are like those. He's got those. They're up in their kitchen, But no, they're really cool memorabilia, we've been around. My family's actually been around a lot of memorabilia in our days because my mom's from Scotland. Okay, and
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
So this is gonna sound like. You couldn't get more cliche as far as family's concerned. My mom's from Scotland, okay? My aunt was a kilt maker. Okay. Really, for real. And my grandparents, my granddad, may he rest in peace, he was a groundskeeper for an old medieval castle. Like the Weems Castle.
Cool.
For real. Oh, and my granny and my granddad, they lived in like a wing of this old castle. I don't even, built in the 1100s or something like that. And I spent, as a kid, I mean, I very vague, my child eye, is very vague. But we had like these real like great memories of being there as kids. And they had like, they were in like artifact collectors, and these castles, I mean, keep in mind, because in Scotland is very different, like counties and stuff like that. They still, like, the counties almost like rent, like, imagine if Marion County like rented the land that Marion County is on from like a private entity. And that's like in Scotland, like the Weems own this land and the county like pays rent to essentially operate on this land. So they have all these little towns all around the castle that are all like South Weems, East Weems, West Weems.
But the county doesn't actually own the land.
No, it's like royal. Yeah, they like. I mean, I'm probably really oversimplifying it, but yeah, it's like they really they have a lot of money, a lot of money. So anyway, they had their like the crystal carriage. It was like Mary Queen of Scots and stuff like that. They had like the carriage and like Queen Elizabeth, like these carriages that they got pushed in. Yeah, and like the handwritten, like John Smith of Pocahontas. Yeah, they had the handwritten journal of John Smith there. And they had like these, it's like, I mean, how much money does that cost? Yeah. And they had, what else did they have? Oh, no, they had like the earliest like Shakespeare when like, with like friars used to like transcribe Shakespeare, like monks and stuff like that. My dad said he was like holding it, and don't get me wrong, it's not like he's holding it and just turning the pages. It's all encased and stuff like that, but it's like these are like some of the earliest like editions of Shakespeare.
Your dad's like, let me show you my guitar pick.
Yeah, exactly.
I got this ticket stub somewhere.
No, but my granny, she's still around. She's still kicking, and gosh, sharp as a tack as anything too. She's like, I think 87, and she lives in a little cottage just down the street from this place. And every time my mom talks to her on the phone, which is almost every week, how's Finn doing? What's his magic and stuff? So she's a huge supporter. She's a huge supporter.
Is she watching right now, do you think? Or will she watch?
If my cousins or something help her out with getting her set up to watch it on YouTube.
It'll be on YouTube. Yeah, that's worldwide.
It lives forever.
Oh yeah, no, she's very old school with how her technology operates and stuff like that. She's not like, she has her home line still. She doesn't have a cell phone. She doesn't have any of that kind of stuff. She's real, and she still has a TV guide for watching TV and stuff like that. So she's pretty old school. She's pretty old school. But
so you've graduated a little bit from doing like tricks, like street music.
Oh yeah.
To this.
Yeah. So that's where because Matt, things are going really good. I've obviously, since I was here last time, I went by more the stage name of Finn the Magician, and I've moved now into doing more. I go by Finn Joseph because, first off, Joseph is my middle name, and I didn't want. It seemed a little bit. Finn the Magician seemed a little bit like fair kind of to me, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm sorry,
but you're almost
my fair
30.
performers.
You're almost 30. You got a beard.
Yeah, exactly. No, so I do a lot more nowadays. Like I do a lot more mentalism. I'm a mentalist and a magician. I do sleight of hand illusions. I do tricks. I do love like classic illusions and classic magic.
What's the difference between magician and mentalist? That's what
okay, so imagine this: like a mentalist or a magician has you pick a card.
Got it.
A mentalist has you think of a card. Mentalist is a lot more. Is psychic entertainment. Is using theatrics, psychology, body language, and stuff like that, and using various techniques to give the presentation of reading minds. And in some cases, it unlocks parts of the brain that we all have access to. It's not like I have the big thing is I always try to tell people I don't have like a sixth sense or something like that.
Yeah, unless you're a complete psycho and then he can't read you at all.
Oh no, there's some people who and it's kind of like with hypnotism. We're talking about hypnotism. So if you do not want to have a mentalist decipher what you're thinking, they will not be able to do it. It's not like they can find anything in your brain. Just like a hypnotist cannot hypnotize somebody who doesn't want to be. The greatest hypnotist in the world, if somebody does not want to be hypnotized, could not hypnotize them.
Really?
Yeah, no, they could not ever. It's like it's impossible. Unless there's somebody who is yet to prove me wrong. And with mentalism is the same thing. you have people think it's pretty simple stuff. You can't like dissect these big elaborate thoughts or anything like that. It's more like thought reading than it is mind reading, because people get really intimidated by the concept of mind reading, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. So it's a lot more. It's entertainment. It's all entertainment at the end of the day. Yeah. And if it wasn't entertainment, I'd be working at the Pentagon right now. You know what I mean? So
I have a couple questions.
I would say I could just be making a lot more money, but it's and I wouldn't have to go on stages, but it would be it's a lot of it's entertainment, and it is theatrics, and it is using psychology and body language reading, facial expressions and stuff like that. You'd be surprised how much I've been learning about psychology and the workings of the mind and stuff like that.
We need him to come over when our kids are not being honest about something and be like, we're going to sit you down and talk to a friend of ours.
Yeah, a lie detector.
Yeah.
You're the human lie detector.
Has a couple questions for you.
That could be a side hustle. That'd be a side hustle.
Tell me your grades. He's going to tell you what you're thinking.
Yeah.
See, I want to know where this mess came from. So we're all just going to sit here for a moment, and Finn's just going to have a talk.
Kids would be the hardest for me to do that with, though. That's the thing is like mentalism and stuff. Even just magic shows, kids can be, and for me, I don't fully believe this. I'm not nearly as overboard with it as a lot of my performing friends are, but kids can be a tough crowd because
we know.
Sometimes
I don't even know what they're thinking.
Yeah, no, they don't understand, they don't understand maybe like, etiquette, like they don't understand etiquette for a performer and stuff like that. They'll call you out on, I was doing a birthday party like 2 years ago or so, and it was for like a bunch of second graders, and it was like the first trick I did, and it was like there was this kind of something I do. I make like this scarf disappear, and this kid, he could see right away what I did, and before I'm even like done making advantage, he's like, yeah, you did this, that, and the other, he called me out 100% accurate, and it's like, this is the start of my 30-minute, little birthday party show.
I'm doing. Make him disappear now.
Well, and the thing is too, and it's kind of like, and I don't know. It's like I worked with kids when I was in college, because I went to college for IT, and I worked in a preschool, a fantastic preschool. Little Friends, shout out to you guys as well. It's like they were. I worked with like preschoolers and kindergartners and stuff, and so I've been around kids, and I don't know. It's like I don't take it to heart if a kid bust me on something. I probably should be doing a different trick for him. But then the parent comes over to the kid, and she's kind of whispering in his ear, and it's almost like, this parent doesn't think I can fend for myself, That was worse. That's worse than the kid calling me out itself. It's like, no, just let him call me out all you want.
I can handle it.
I can handle it. Now listen here, you little shit.
Yeah, come here, yeah. The next trick I'm going to do is the appearing belt. No, no, the kids, I don't do a lot of kids shows anymore. I do every now and then, and I love kids. Kids are amazing, but they're a different breed, especially when it comes to the mentalism, mind reading kind of stuff. You want to do, I think, a lot more, like, with kids, too, and I don't have a lot of experience with it, but my theory about kids performing is, if clowns weren't so... Clowns used to be something that wasn't about...
Clowns are creepy.
They are creepy.
They're creepy.
But
Sorry.
But we have to keep in mind that for a long time, for decades, clowns were not considered a creepy thing. They were considered something that you hired for a party, and they were funny. Pie in the face, squirty flour. That's the kind of stuff that kids, little kids who, little kids, they want to just see goofy stuff like that. They don't want to see, think of a place, like they don't want to see a mentalist. They would be like, I don't know what you're even talking about, So mentalism and stuff is a lot more for my corporate, because I perform for like high-end parties, or any party, but typically if you're hiring like a professional magician, usually it's like you could see high-end, but like a bigger event, corporate events, that's my biggest market. And I also do a lot of weddings in the summertime, reception and stuff like that. So
I like them both. I'm very childlike.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I'll clap if you do a little trick for me. But
he's like, do it again.
I do enjoy the mentalist part, because it seems like it's such more of a bigger setup.
Right. Well, and the thing is too, it is in some cases it is being on a live wire. It's like being up on a tightrope without a net. You can, and the reality of the situation is, and I've had this for good and for bad. You can have shows where you really aren't hitting the mark, because it's not like I'm relying on my sleight of hand as much. It's not like I'm relying on like misdirection and various props and elaborate setups and stuff like you might do for an illusion or something like that. And so for that reason, you can have the hits, in my opinion, are a lot bigger. When you hit it, for me, it's a lot more satisfying, and I feel like people are like, a lot more kind of gobsmacked at what they see. But also, you can have shows where you get more misses than you would like. You know what I mean? Yeah. You get more misses than you would like to admit. So that is just the unfortunate nature of it. That's the unfortunate nature of it. But at the end of the day, I've gotten pretty good at it. I've been doing mentalism, because I've been doing magic and performing in general since 2010 in one way or another. Yeah. And then I started getting a lot more into mentalism kind of like right post-COVID, because I started doing a lot more shows. I really started picking up my game once we all kind of started shaking the feathers, the dust off, and you got our performance and our socializing, hats back on in early 2021, Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I had the pleasure of meeting, I mentioned him and I gave him a shout out last time, and I'll give him a shout out again. He's one of my best friends, Hart Keen. He is a mentor of mine. He's a professional magician and mentalist, and he travels nationally, and he, is a full-time performer, and he's been a full-time performer for 15, 16 years. And he has taught me so much. And what he kind of got me interested in doing was exploring mentalism, because I saw him doing things that to me were impossible. And I was as a magician, I was an experienced magician at this point. He was doing things that I considered to be impossible. I was like, how do you do that? There must have been an elaborate setup beforehand or something like that. And then he kind of pointed me in the direction, and, he's not going to tell me, here, Finn, do this, that, and the other. He gave me kind of like some building blocks, but he's like, go learn about it from this guy and from that guy, and there's books, and there's various lectures that you can, and notes and stuff that you can research and elaborate on. And then that was a few years ago, and and now I would say I do a lot of magic still. I love sleight of hand. I love magic, but I like to consider myself more a mentalist, because this is just a lot more fun for me to perform. It's a lot more fun for me to perform.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I'm a conversationalist. Yeah. In fact, my parents would tell you, or my brothers would say, I can't get this guy to shut up.
So you're talking about this, like, so your people cup must be like way up here. And like for someone like me, it's like right down here.
Excuse me. I love people. I don't have an issue talking to strangers. I've never really been a shy one. One actually was funny the other night. I was at my parents' house having a glass of wine, and I just kind of randomly said, like, I don't think I've ever really considered myself to be shy. And my dad was over in the kitchen. He just started laughing, because I'm shy. He's like, no, I've always been a pretty social person. Yeah. And I like it more with mentalism, because you get to know people more if you're going to do it right. Because with magic, it's like, here's a trick, you have to make it personable and stuff. But for me, I feel like mentalism and mind and thought,
it's more like a one-on-one type of thing.
You got to build a connection with them.
And it's never going to be the same. It's never going to be the same. You go down this garden path of a performance, and it's never going to be the same. One person is going to have a completely different, way of thinking than another, and stuff like that. And it's just, and it's a lot, I feel like it's a lot easier for people to comprehend. If I asked you guys, like, to explain, or not maybe you guys, but, like, if I asked somebody to explain, like, my card tricks, and you guys saw me do sleight of hand and card tricks last time, and, they're good, and I know if I do say so myself, but...
I was impressed.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, when people are maybe, like, sitting... My favorite thing in performing is something I'll never experience. If I perform for somebody... And then, like, 3 years down the line, they're, like, at another event. They haven't seen me since I performed from 3 years ago. And they can, like, explain to their friends over drinks or a meal or whatever, a magician or mentalist or whatever gets brought up. And they're like, we saw this guy one time, and he, I thought of a name, and he knew it, or something like that. Like, I like when people can actually remember exactly what I did. Yeah. With cards, with cards and stuff, people, I think, is a lot more like, oh, yeah, he did, like, sleight of hand, and he was awesome, and that's great. That's, if people just, I don't expect them to remember the details of a card trick. It's really hard to not remember something that's, like, a lot more cerebral, he had me think of, the name of my first pet, or, like, a name of the first person I kissed, or whatever, and he knew it. So that kind of stuff, I think, it sticks with people a lot more. And if it sticks with them a lot more, you're going to likely get hired again. So, that's where a big reason that I went with is a win-win. I enjoy performing it more, and I think people want to see it more.
Do you think you're bringing more technology into like the mentalist part? Because people are on their phones.
Right. So I do have people sometimes pull up like an image on Google, or I'll have them look for something on Wikipedia. I think you guys did that last time. You guys just pulled up Wikipedia, and because
that blew my mind.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah, no, yeah. You just like you pull, and it was like on your phone and stuff. It's like like you pull out your phone and you do stuff, and yeah, that's you have like a real repository of information that people can pull from, and it's for a modern audience because.
Yeah. Like, oh, you got disappearing ink on that paper. That's why. But
right.
How'd you hack my phone? Tell me how you hacked my phone.
Right. Yeah, and that's where, people have their phone on them. Heck, people are more likely to have their phone on them than they'll probably have like their keys or their wallet. You know what I mean? So it's a great way for people to be able to like quickly access information and thoughts, like things to imprint in their head. Because if people think of something kind of like random. It's actually, the thing is, it's a little more tricky, though, because when people think of something random, like go look up an article on CNN or go look up an article on Wikipedia or whatever it might be, there is kind of like something that's kind of in their thoughts and then it's out their thoughts. There's not much weight to it. And for that reason, it can be a little bit harder to get sometimes to detect whatever that thought might be. It's easier, oddly enough, when people are thinking of something that has, I wouldn't say oddly enough, it probably makes sense to most people, if there's a lot more of an emotional connection to it.
Yeah.
So that's where, and also I like to, because when I first started doing more mentalism, I had people think of names, and one of the first events that I did was like cocktail mingling magic, because as I mentioned to you guys before, I both go on stage and perform for hundreds of people at a time, or I can do a lot more of like the icebreaker stuff where you kind of mingle in the crowd and make groups kind of get out of their shell more and stuff like that. And so I was doing mentalism, kind of mingling in the crowd, and I had a woman, I had her think of a name, and she's like, oh, I got a name, and then she wrote it down. It was like the name of like her husband that she like just split up from, and it was like, well, this is kind of like a real, I mean, it's a name that's kind of relevant in your mind, but it's like maybe in the future you could think of something that's a little bit more positive, it's like, because it just kind of like, it can sour the mood a little bit, and I don't blame her for doing that, but it's
you
like
say the name and everybody's like, we hated that guy.
No, that was kind of because everyone knew. No, everyone knew who this was.
So glad they're not together anymore.
They didn't specifically say this because this was a really close knit family kind of company, and everyone's like, "Oh, I know that name," and it's like this name's obviously. It's not like I'm expecting you to not acknowledge that name, but now it's
hard to get this golf claps out of that and be like,
yeah, no, now
we're sitting there just like angry now.
So now when I have people think of names and stuff like that, I like to have them think of a name of somebody that they would love to see again, or think of somebody from their childhood.
Positive.
Yeah, no, because I want to be positive. I want my show to be positive. I want my interactions with people to be positive.
Not like, give me the name of the person that ruined your life.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
So I remember back in the '90s, I think they were on like Oprah and stuff. They would have these people that were like, they'd call up your dead relatives, and they had a whole audience like, I'm thinking
it was the guy's name, John Edwards. Thank you.
I despise that man.
Is he a mentalist? Is that what he's doing?
He's a mentalist, and he's framing it like he can communicate with the dead.
Yeah.
So I think,
artist.
Well, if you're telling people that you can communicate with the dead, then I think you're a con artist.
Yeah.
I think you're a con artist because he's a very good mentalist. The guy was doing readings.
Crossing over with John Edwards.
Yeah,
that's
he had his own show.
Yeah. No, I have nothing positive to say about the man other than he's skilled at what he does, of course. But like this is my opinion, and this is just my opinion. But it's I think mediumship and stuff like that is using
praying.
Well, it's preying on people's beliefs and the thing and stuff like that. And if somebody is convinced, because when people believe something, that means that they'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
But when somebody's convinced, that means that they'll bet money on it. You know, and if people are convinced that you just communicated with their dead relative, then that could change their worldview.
Because you're getting a whole another vibe from them. I mean, if someone like is entertained, there's one vibe they're putting off. That because they want to participate.
Yeah.
But if like I hope they say it's my grandma. I hope they say it's my grandma. You're putting off like a negative like desperate vibe.
Yeah.
That this person is picking up on, and so you're using that desperation to
exactly.
Is that what you don't like about it?
I don't like it. Yeah, and I just don't like because I want people when there are with mentalism to me is like people like there's parts of the mind that people don't tap into as much that we all can do, and that's kind of where mentalism comes in. You just need to practice it a lot. But it's like, it's a positive thing. Like, you can, utilize your mind in amazing ways and change your life for the better and stuff like that. I feel like when you're preying on I feel like when you're communicating, as they would put it, with a dead relative or somebody like that, I mean, that can make the most devout atheist go to church the next day. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff that would change your worldview, yeah. And that's where I'm like, I don't want to change people's worldview. I want people to just be entertained by what I do. Yeah. I want people to have fun. I want people to remember what I do because they had fun, not remember what I do because they think like, you're here, I'm here, I can communicate with the dead. That's like a Sixth Sense kind of thing, that they're portraying, and I am not on board with it.
That's an interesting perspective. I never thought about that. Like,
yeah.
So there's that gal. I can't think of her name.
It's like you're using someone's tragedy to entertain, to
profit.
And you're entertaining other people off their tragedy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where... there's and obviously on his show and stuff too, there'll probably be bits and pieces that they don't include in the show. They'll probably will snip out parts where people
he messed up.
Yeah, exactly. And well, a big thing too with especially mediums is like, if you are sitting there and they're asking you questions and you're saying, no, that doesn't relate to me. No, that doesn't relate to me. No, that doesn't relate to me. And then you get one thing that does relate to like the person you're thinking of. Yeah. That's all you'll remember is the thing that relates to you. Yeah. And in 10 years from now, you won't remember all the no's you said. You'll just remember the yeses. You'll just remember the hits. So that's where I can't get on board with it. I would not have. I have no respect for people who do that because I think that they're using other people's emotions in ways that aren't really genuine. So that's what it is. It is what it is. I think that you can do stuff like, people can do like mentalism and kind of like more of like a serious tone and stuff like that, which I'm not. I'm goofy and stupid and I'm fun, But like people can do like mentalism in a serious way. Don't get me wrong, and that's great. And you can pull on people's emotions and stuff like that. It's just like you're kind of crossing a line when you go.
It's like an ethical piece.
Yeah, it's the ethics of it. It's the ethics of it. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. You know what I mean? You don't want to change people's worldviews. That's how I put it.
Yeah.
I'm a lot more about the fun. I'm a lot more about, at the end of the day, it's like my dad had a coworker. Her name was Joy, and she had a line that always stuck with me. And I know other people have said this kind of thing too. Finn, they won't remember what you said or did. They'll remember how you made them feel. And at the end of the day, I want people to remember what I do. Like I was mentioning, I would love for people to have these memories of what I can do and perform that stick with them forever. But at the end of the day, if they just remember that I made them feel good, that's great. Yeah. That's wonderful, They
may not remember the whole card trick, but they remember that, hey, that really entertained me.
Exactly. And it's a lot more about, it's more about the connection than the tricks at the end of the day, too. My mentor, Greg, I live with him. Greg's a fantastic guy. Happy birthday, Greg. He's turned 64 yesterday. And he does cruise ships. And Greg's show is a lot more, because he's a magician. He's a magician, but he's a comedy magician. And his stuff, he does some stuff that's fooling, but a lot more of what he's going for is the good vibes and the laughs, because he is hilarious. The guy is hilarious. He's been doing this full time since 1982, so you can't help but be good. And his show's a lot more about kind of comedy and like kind of goofy prop magic and stuff like that. And but it's more about the laughs. It's a lot more about the good vibes and stuff like that. And there's a reason that he gets picked over a lot more serious, in some cases more fooling magicians. He gets picked over them because people want to just sit down and just kind of tune out from the world and have a cocktail and just enjoy themselves. And he can do that. He's a black belt in that. He's a master comedian. I'll bring up lines and stuff to him. The first time I ever met Greg, we were out walking in the park, and I live with him now. It was near where his house was. I was throwing some joke ideas out to him. And he didn't. He just kind of said off the cuff, like, how about this? And like he said the same joke back to me 10 times better. It was just like immediate. It was like, oh, okay, I should listen to you. I bring ideas to him and I bring jokes to him and stuff like that, and just kind of how to be entertaining to him. Yeah. And he's so good at it, without even trying, it seems. So, yeah, I have a lot of respect for him, and he's taught me a lot about what it means to be an entertainer, and how at the end of the day, people want to just have, they're gonna be more remember more the amount of laughs that they had and more the smiles they had on their face, and they're gonna remember exactly what you said or did.
What's your favorite show you've ever done?
My favorite show that I've ever done? My favorite show that I've ever done was actually last year. It was for an engineering group, which is a pretty hard crowd. It can be a hard crowd. I did for an engineering group last year, and it was actually my mentor. I mentioned Hart earlier. He and I, because during December is like my busiest month. Like this last year, I just month past, I did like 9 gigs, and the year before I did like 13. But there was a couple cancellations this year, and people get sick,
Yeah.
But he was saying to me, Finn, you don't like get better, like you don't calm down, because he was, I was talking to him about my nerves and stuff, and sometimes I'm up on stage and I get off stage and I'm kind of like, what did I just do? Like you kind of forget, and it would, because adrenaline and stuff like that. Zone. Yeah, you're in the zone, and like I'm kind of like, fortunately I go up there and it's not like I just screw up, but it's like I'm kind of locked in, but I feel I would feel just nervous, and I don't even remember what I said, and fortunately I get rounds of applause and stuff at the end, so it went good. But then he was saying, Finn, you're going to be a lot more calm, and you're going to do a lot better, and your lines are going to get better, and you're going to be funnier and just more engaging if you just ensure yourself that you're calmed down. So I got up on stage, and a lot of times we communicate kind of driving to and from gigs, because we're just working all of December. And so this is when this conversation happened on the phone, and Hart was telling me about, Finn, I got so much better once I just learned to just calm down. And I made a real emphasis that night on the show I was going to for this engineering crew. And I mean, I just could feel it as the show was going along, because I wasn't nervous. I didn't have like, pit stains going down to my waist and stuff like that. I felt great. And the show, and it reflected in the show, and it reflected in how people want to get photos with me after the show and stuff like that. And yeah, there was a wonderful show, and it was a wonderful learning lesson.
It's like, what did I eat? How do I recreate for the next time?
Oh, and it was, I have 3 things that I always say, or 4 things. I have 4 things that I always say before my show, okay? So I have it written down on a card in my case with my various props that I bring, and my various tools that I use.
Yeah.
And it's enjoy the show. You just have to enjoy the show. You're not if you don't enjoy the show. And this, I think this implies to anybody who does public speaking. I think this could apply to you.
Yeah.
So if you enjoy the show or the presentation or the speech, enjoy yourself, and people will enjoy it too. They'll feel it. It's like their subconscious. They'll feel it, and it's all part of the process. That's a real good one to remember. Is all part of the process. So if you get up there and you bomb, if you get up on stage and if you're going to bomb, sorry, but trust me, I'm saying it from experience as a hired entertainer. And then always perform like it's your first and your last. And then right before so those are the 3 things I have written down. But then before I get up on stage, this is from one of the best books an entertainer could ever read, or a public speaker could ever read, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
Yeah.
It's one of the best books that anybody could ever read. I've read it multiple times, or listened to the audiobook of it's fantastic too. I've read it once and I've listened to the audiobook multiple times. And Dale Carnegie talks about how an old magician, it was so funny when I first read it, I was like, oh, they're talking about Howard Thurston, who was kind of like Houdini, but he was around the Houdini time period. Howard Thurston used to go and say emphatically behind stage, out loud to himself, I love my audience. I love my audience.
It's almost like a self-hypnotism.
It is. Oh, no, it is. It's like it is a self, you like anchor yourself to this thought thinking, and it just gives you, and then you get up on stage and you're all energized and stuff like that. And I love my audience. And I mean, I've gone on stages for parties and stuff like that where I think this is going to be a rough, you can't help like when you're setting up your AV or your audio or your stuff and people are coming in, and I'm like, wow, this is gonna be a tough crowd. And then like I get up on stage, but I have this mindset, and it's like I win them over just through not saying anything in particular. I just like through my smile, just through my energy radiates to people.
Yeah.
And I think anybody who gets up on stage and does that, that is just the most key thing that you could ever do, is just really in yourself love what you're doing and enjoying your show or your speech or your presentation or whatever it is, and then that will that's like 60% of the work. That's like 60% of the work, I think, is just getting up on stage without being like, you're going to have adrenaline.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. People are like, I'm so nervous. It's like, you are nervous because you have adrenaline. And adrenaline does one of two things. It either gets you nervous or it gets you excited, or maybe a little bit of both. So you have adrenaline, and that's going to happen. You should have adrenaline before you get up on stage or you perform or anything like that. But just don't let it channel into all these negative thoughts, which leads to nerves.
Yeah.
Channel it towards like excitement. Channel it towards excitement, and that's what I do with I love my audience.
It's that positivity that you bring into the situation, and that kind of radiates. And
exactly.
There's a study that came out. They were trying to figure out who the most popular kids are in school.
I just saw this the other day.
It wasn't the jocks. It wasn't anybody who was high up as far as stats. It was the kids that liked everybody. They were mostly likely to be the most liked kids because if they had a longer friend list of kids that they liked, they were also more likely to be the most social.
Because they instilled a feeling in other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they were the kids that would go down and say like hi to every single person or how's your day or anything.
Yeah.
So you walk in the audience, I like you, I like you, I like you.
Yeah. Well,
you're my friend, and you're my friend, and you're my friend.
I wasn't like, I wouldn't, I don't get me wrong, I would not put myself in a popular or an unpopular category in school. I had a lot of great friends, and I had a lot of people who, I was in various friend group circles and stuff like that. I remember they did like this thing called the senior awards. Because you guys have, I know, a couple kids, and have any of them graduated yet?
One has already graduated, one graduates this year.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys have ever, I don't know if they ever did like the senior awards. They do like at West Salem High School where I went to, they did like these senior awards, most likely to blank, and it was kind of a joking thing.
Do you know what I got?
What?
Most gullible.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got most gullible.
I don't think they do the mean ones like that anymore, but
no, they do. There was actually a girl, and she, I wasn't at it, but I heard about this because near the end of my high school days, I enjoyed West. West was a fantastic school, but I was just so senioritis in the third degree.
Okay.
I was like, I'm not proud to say this, but my parents are aware of it now. But it's not like I would go skip the full day, but I would skip like half the day. I would just leave school around waits time, and I'd just take absence. I don't give a crap. I'm gonna graduate.
Yeah.
I got all my grades, or
like I did the work.
I could have graduated actually, early. I could have graduated. I wouldn't have, but I could have qualified for it. And so I was kind of like, I could, technically speaking, get all Fs for the rest of this semester, and I would be fine. And anyway, I did not attend the senior awards, and I got 2 awards, and one was lovely, and one was more the mean one. I got most likely to brighten your day with his smile, and I was.
Aww.
It was nice, and I was not expecting that at all. And then I got most likely to argue with a rock.
Argue with a rock.
Yeah. And if anybody who knows me knows, that fits me. I can be a bit. I'm prone to devil's advocacy, and I'm prone to I like debates. My brothers and I debate all the time. I'll debate. I don't really, lively conversations. We'll debate like a nice hearty, not an argument. We have those too, but
you're loquacious.
Yeah. No, but my brothers and I, we will, and sometimes it's like we'll pick sides on things, and it's like neither of us necessarily agrees with the point.
You just want to
argue. But it's kind of like it makes like it's kind of like it's just fun to argue because we're
Our 9-year-old is like that.
Yeah. It's like debate class. You just got to work that muscle.
I know. It's like we've already seen your side. She's like, I know, but let me tell you why. I need you to really see it. It's like, no, you've already won. I know, but I just want to win a little more.
I just say depth. Let me say it.
I just want to run up the score.
And then she'll come back and be like, and another thing.
Yeah.
Another thing. And we're like, for the love of God.
So, what's that magazine you got there?
Magazine. Okay, you got.
I asked them the same thing. I'm like, are you in the magazine?
I think you are. You guys looking to see something interesting?
Maybe. I'm just curious about your reading material choices.
Well, okay. I just got a text message there. I had to look at that really quickly. No, because the state of it's funny with the state of magazines these days. So I got these from my Greg who I live with, and it's like Global Review and Business Insider, and he got these because he wants to read the articles online. So, he's like, do you need these for anything? And I was like, no. I was like, wait, I'm doing that podcast. I'll actually maybe use these. So we'll come to these. We'll come to these in a minute. Okay. We'll come to these in a minute. So I'll show you guys a couple cool things. Okay.
How do you know I don't read that every day?
Do you read it? Yeah. You're like, okay.
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, I'll do a couple of cool things for you guys because obviously. Last time I was here, I did some sleight of hand and stuff like that, and then now,
awesome,
you should go see that podcast. We had a camera mounted up, going straight down to make sure we catch any mistakes he ever makes.
And then the thing is, I watched it, and I had my parents watching, I had people watching, like, Finn, that was great. Oh, your tricks were crazy and stuff. And then like I myself watched it, I'm like, oh my god,
this is garbage.
I was like, I can see every little flash, everything like that. So I'll do a quick sleight of hand demonstration, but then we'll maybe kind of build it up a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
But Brian was expecting you to maybe do this, be a good husband. But he didn't catch it, Carrie. You got a little hair on your shoulder there. You got a little hair on your shoulder, Carrie.
A little
It's
hair.
a bunny.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a little hair. Yeah. So,
I got it. That one.
She's like, oh my god, there's a hair out of place.
Like, oh.
No. So here, what I want you to do is imagine grabbing this, but you don't grab it. It's like almost like you grab like an invisible duplicate one and put it like here. Just imagine like a second one, like an invisible one. You grab with your other hand. Imagine picking it up and putting it in your hand.
Wait, what?
Imagine grabbing this, and then a second one appears, right? Okay. And then put it in your hand. And then just squeeze and you just like that, and then like that, open your hand. There's two. No, so watch this, okay. So
I thought I was, never mind.
No, so
I thought you were trying to get me to do the magic trick. No, I was like, this is going to go bad.
So here, watch this, okay? Are you left or right-handed?
Right.
Okay, go hold out your left hand's closer to me. Hold your left hand out, okay? I'm gonna put one in my hand, and you're gonna squeeze and hold on to the other one, okay? Okay, go ahead and squeeze. Okay, watch this. We're gonna punch knuckles. Don't open it. Turn it over, though. Don't open it. Watch this. Open your hand.
What? How? Do it again.
Okay, they always say
do it again.
They always say do it again, and they always say, too, first time to trick, second time's a lesson. You start to catch on. But the thing is, I will do it again.
Just
for you.
not here and not with us.
No, I'll do it again for you. Yeah, no, I'll do it again for you guys. I'll do it again. So hold out your hand. Hold out your hand for me.
It's like I'm running out of bunnies here.
But the thing is, too, I don't think I'll run out of bunnies. Bunnies, as you know, they like to
multiply.
Yeah, multiply. No, but the thing is, you're gonna kind of, you know what to expect now. Okay. So I'm gonna put one in my hand, and again, squeeze tightly. See, doesn't it feel like it's more than one?
It does feel like it's
more. So turn it over. Watch this, and then hold your hand out over the table. But you said they multiply, right?
Yeah.
Open your hand.
Oh my god. How? I was looking at it from different angles here, and I couldn't see it.
Look at it. I'm so good. Look how many bunnies I made up here. What? How did you do that?
That's amazing.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start up an adoption clinic. By the way, everybody, I'm going to start up an adoption clinic.
Do you have a dollar? Do you have a dollar and do the same thing with a dollar?
Can you do it like 948 times?
Yeah. If I could do that, I wouldn't be here. I'd just be sitting there doing that all day, watching TV. I'd watch a lot more movies and TV if I could do that. I would just be 1, 2, 3. Whatever. I'll watch the same sitcom again. So I doesn't
like the psychics when you're like, well, how come you never win the lottery? It's like
right. No, so here I'm gonna have I want you to do this one for me, okay? So we're gonna I need to warm up the brain a little bit because that was sleight of hand. That was all sleight of hand.
Yeah.
That was all sleight of hand.
That was good sleight of hand.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Carrie. So here, have you guys ever played board games, Yahtzee, anything like that? Yeah. Okay, so obviously you've seen this.
It's a dice.
So go ahead, cover it up, and shake your hand, okay? And then you're shaking it. Okay, what I want you to do is to go ahead and then just open your hand and peek at it. Open your hand and peek at it. You got a number?
Yeah.
You got one?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to imagine the word odd and the word even invisibly next to my head. And the word that matches, whether it's an odd or an even number, is bigger, okay? Odd, even, odd, even, odd is an even number, right?
Yeah.
And imagine the actual face itself of the dice. I'm seeing a lot of white. Is it a 2? Is it you're a lot of white space? Are you thinking, is it a number 2?
Can I show you?
Yeah, go. Is it a 2? It is a 2.
Ah!
Do it again. I need to do it again. Shake it up.
I tried to trick you, though. Can I tell you how I tried to trick you? I looked at the side one.
Oh, you did?
And I had no idea what was on the top.
Oh, there you go.
And so...
Go ahead and shake it.
He's like...
Trying to ruin our guest.
Yeah, no, look at the top. Look at the top. You got it?
Got it.
Can you think of the number?
Yeah.
Okay, there is a decent bit of white space, but there's a little bit less than last time. It's not an even number. It's not a 4. Is it a 3? Is it a... No, I see one row of 3 and then there's 2 rows of 3. Is it a 6? It's a 6. That's what it is. That's what I got. Okay.
You're good.
There we go. Brian, one time for you. One time for you. One time for you.
All right.
Okay. So go ahead and shake it up. Shake it up. Okay, and then go ahead and look at the top number. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's trying to be deadpan.
Yeah, no, he's like he's looking into my soul. No. So what? Think of it. I want you to go ahead and think of it. See, I'm almost getting a little bit of like nostalgia. You got a number that she already got, didn't you?
Mm.
You got the first. Is it a 2?
Damn it! How did you do that? I was trying to think of nothing. That's how I usually do. I just try to think of nothing, and then it seems. Wow, that was amazing.
Well, there you go. Thank you. Yeah. So here, I wanted, because we did card tricks last time, and this is a little bit different though. I would like to think this is a little bit more mentalism with playing cards. Okay, this isn't a card trick. This is a demonstration with cards. Okay, so look at the introduction that we'll put out, and you'll see these cards were all over the room just a minute ago. But the things when we picked them up, I did something unique, and I'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so I want you guys, Carrie. There's red cards and there's black cards, right? Okay. So the 2 different colors. Say one, red or black. Red. Okay. You don't want to change your mind.
Nope.
Red. Okay. So Brian.
Yes.
We got hearts and we have diamonds, right?
Okay.
So we got the red ones, hearts and diamonds. Go ahead, pick hearts or diamonds. Diamonds. Okay, diamonds. Now, Carrie, you know how there's number cards, and then there's the face cards like Jack, Queen, King, and Ace. So do you want us to pick number cards or face cards?
It's in my head already. Face card.
Face card? Yeah. Okay, so now we have face cards, and the opportunity now is for face cards, okay? So I want you to go ahead for me, Brian, and think. Do you want to pick, and we did diamond, so are we doing the Jack of diamonds, the Queen of diamonds, the King of diamonds, or the Ace of diamonds?
I'm going to do the Jack.
The Jack of diamonds?
That's not what I picked.
Sorry, you picked?
Oh, not in my head.
Oh.
You were supposed to read my mind.
So, the Jack of diamonds. Okay, so here's the thing. I have, obviously, we picked up all the cards, right? So, here's the thing. I have 1 card face down in this deck. And you guys named, you could have picked red or black, you picked red. Yeah. Heart or diamond, you picked diamond. You guys picked down to Jack, right? And you could have changed your mind. I gave you all multiple opportunities. Turn it over. What card is it? Stop. Turn it over.
Wow!
How?
That's wild, isn't it?
That is wild.
Sometimes you get lucky. No, so... See, now that... Would you call that a card trick, or would you call that's a bit more mentalism?
So it's like looking up to the left, Jacks, is that what it is? And like looking down.
But even so, how would you flip the card?
I don't know. It's magic.
It's hypnotism. Mentalism. No.
It's magic.
See, that's the kind of stuff I do on podcasts. I don't do that on stage. They'd be like, yeah, Finn, it was nice having you, and we're not going to have you back. So, what I wanted us to do now, we are going to look at these magazines. Okay, so we have Business Insider and we have Global Review. So,
I'll do business.
Sorry. You can pick one. You can pick one or the other. Yeah, do you want to do Business Insider?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want you to do is to go ahead. Now, first off, I'm just going to show this to the screen so everybody can see, okay? So we can see that there's ads, there's text articles and everything like that. This is a bunch of crap, you know?
Yeah, it's mostly ads now.
Yeah, so it's mostly ads in these books. Like I said, my mentor who gave this to me, he got it simply because you can access the news articles online. So what I want you to do is to go ahead and open that page to anywhere you want to that is like a lot of text, like an article, okay? Open up to any article. Okay, so what I want you to do is to just find any word in there. I want you to find any word in there, a long one. Pick a long word, though. One? A long word. Yeah, it would be boring if you picked anything else. Just pick a long one.
I'll pick that one. The one I'm right now.
Don't say it out loud, of course. You got it?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and close it up. And, you know, just, we could have picked, and you can see this magazine would have been different. There's countless, you could have picked countless things, okay? So what I want you to...
Wikipedia all over again.
So what I want you to do is the word something that you could put like an image to?
I forgot what the word is. I was looking at my word.
Really?
You got the word?
I got the word.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you could. I don't know how you could, though.
Think of the word. Just think of it. See, I might not get this. This might not work. Think of the first letter.
Okay.
Is it an S?
No.
See, I knew that.
I just want to see if you do it.
No. I said it's not an S. It's So what was? Just say it wasn't an S. Say it wasn't an S though. Wasn't an S. Just say the first letter only. You. So because I was getting kind of like squirmish or kind of like something like that. Like doesn't that make sense? No, it was like squirm or like not slimy. It wasn't like just kind of like you kind of want to shake in place, right? Like you're shaking. Okay. So you here. Let me write this down.
Stop it. There's no way he guessed it.
I'm gonna show it to the camera beforehand. Okay, what was the word?
Uncomfortably. How?
I think he even spelled it right.
He did.
Did I?
Yeah.
I was thinking squirmish, and that's why I was like, okay, that makes more sense. And you were like printing that in your head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So that's the kind of fun stuff that we do, right? So I'm gonna do something else. Okay. So we're gonna do, but now the thing is, you couldn't really put an image to that, right?
Yeah.
But what I want you to do is put an image to something that's a little bit more beckoned to you, right? I want you to think of the name of the first pet you ever had. Okay. Okay. So Brian, because some people like. I asked my mom this. For instance, my dad actually did know the name of my mom's first pet, but I do this a lot of times at shows, and it's a real grab bag. So yes or no. Sometimes, do you know the name? If I had to ask you to name, and don't say it, obviously, don't take a guess, but yes or no, do you think that you would know the name of Carrie's first pet she ever had in her life?
No.
I'm offended, by the way. You should know this about me.
And the thing is, too, it's not like I know I have to say this as a mentalist, because people are going to be like, you said it's not like you came and whispered in my ear and told me. No, okay. So think of it. Just think of it. Okay. Can you just put an image? Not the name itself, but just an image. It's not like a. Are you thinking of is it like a black dog?
Yeah.
It's a black dog.
Yeah.
Okay. Just think of the name. Now look at the collar. Look at the collar, and you're seeing the name printed on the collar, like. If lost, my name is...
There's no way he's going to guess.
Okay. We got this word, which had a little bit less to do with it. But the thing is, now I have the name... Again, we didn't set this up.
Mm-mm.
What's the name of the first pet that you ever had?
Midnight.
He's communicating with the dead dog right now. That's all I can explain.
Yeah, John Edwards.
How?
Do you have it on your Facebook profile?
No, I have it nowhere. I mean, I use it as my password sometimes.
Oh my God.
Great. Now
there you go. Now we gotta go change everything.
All right, everybody. I want you to go ahead and try to log in.
No, the security question.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Wow.
Okay, if my mom's watching this, seriously.
Midnight. I would never guess that. I'm sure you've told me at some point, maybe. I would have never guessed that.
Midnight actually bit my wrist when I was little. That's why we got rid of her.
Oh.
Yeah. My dad.
So he saw the scar and he knew that was like a tiny dog.
I can't remember which one. So I vividly remember as a kid, we're out in the garage and my dad is feeding the dog and telling me, don't go pet her. You gotta let her eat. And of course, what do I do as a little kid? I go over and start petting her. She turns around, grabs onto my wrist, and I lift her up like this, and I start swinging her around. And my dad has to come over and pry her jaws off me. Because
I was seeing an image of like a black dog that was all black. Was it like a white coat underneath or anything? Was it like a pure? Yeah, it was like a pure. That's what I kind of saw too. But then again, it's kind of hard to get those images itself. But so. Okay, now you helped me with a few things. You guys have both helped me, but Brian, I want you to think of something.
Okay.
I want you to think of something. You're going to think of an alcoholic beverage.
Okay. That
you haven't had in a while, but you would love to have.
I haven't had in a while?
Yeah. Is there one that you can think of? You're like, no, I've had all of them recently. My mom would be proud of you. She is from Scotland, I said.
I got some favorites.
Yeah, no, just think of one. Don't say it out loud. Don't say it out loud necessarily.
Okay.
Okay. Just, you got it in mind, though? I'm going to give you the opportunity to change your mind.
Now, is it the alcohol or is it the drink it makes?
They like think of like a drink itself.
So you've narrowed it down to hard alcohol.
Yeah. That's a good start.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. What are you thinking of?
Old fashioned.
Old fashioned.
That's my favorite.
So this is perfect because remember at the beginning of the show?
Yeah.
I told you guys I wanted to take a photo myself. Before we took a photo that will be posted up on Hustle Northwest, and we took one all together. But and the thing is, did you have other ones that went through your mind? You had like other ones that went through your mind?
IPAs. And
yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
But the thing is, the one that went through your mind, I got a photo myself.
Stop. What?
What does it say? Tell everyone what it says.
It says old fashioned.
Yeah. Old fashioned. Follow me on @FinnJosephMagic. You can see it for yourself on Instagram.
I'm shook.
You're shook.
I'm shook.
But the thing is, too, it wasn't just that. Can you pull up your phone for me? Grab your phone. Okay. And we communicated through Instagram, of course. Can you go on to Instagram itself and go to @FinnJosephMagic? Again, follow me @FinnJosephMagic.
Can I go on mine too?
Yeah. Go to my Instagram. And the thing is, it's not like I've had like my phone out. I'm all editing and stuff like that, right? So I want you to go ahead. You know how everyone has an Instagram bio, right?
Yeah.
Can you go ahead and read my Instagram bio out loud?
Hold on. We got bad service.
Oh, you're good.
What does yours say?
Hanging out with Hustle Northwest, Brian will think of old fashioned. What?
Wow.
How?
I'm a very simple man, apparently. You just know me.
How? You're hired. We're going to have you.
Yeah.
We need to have an event, and Finn's going to be there.
That's right.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
That is insane.
Wow.
Okay, so what I want us to do now, we're going to do something else a little bit. I don't want to just get away from that. No, go follow me on Instagram or go look on Instagram and you will see. I already posted it actually on my social media.
You posted that an hour ago.
I did, yeah. I posted that an hour ago on my social media and I had my bio on there.
What?
Wow.
That is insane.
It is what it is. Right?
That's for that merging technology into your.
See, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Because I could have. I mean, I could just write it down again. I wrote down the name of your pet and I wrote down the name of the word that you just thought of.
Yeah.
But being able to do it with a little bit of different variety, I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's a lot of fun.
That is.
So we're gonna do. Unfortunately, the final thing we have to do is math. So because I'm obsessed with numbers. Okay. So here, can you go ahead and just open my calculator up?
Okay.
So I'm going to write down some numbers. So open up bottom right.
The one that says calculator.
And then press clear a bunch of times just so there's nothing loaded in there. Okay. So Brian, can you pull out your calculator just so we can make sure that you're holding me honest to the math?
I'm still on the Heike thing.
Oh, of course. I know. I understand. No, I understand.
The midnight thing was one thing, but the Heike thing was...
Yeah, midnight. So what I want you to do is... So, Carrie, I want you to go ahead, and I'll write these numbers down, then we can calculate them all as we go, or kind of in the middle. So I want you, Carrie, to give me any 3-digit number.
Okay.
Just say it out loud, and I'll write it down.
4, 5, 6.
Okay, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to add that in a minute. Okay, Brian, give me a 4-digit number.
A 4-digit number?
Yeah.
6543.
6543.
We're struggling here.
You're good. And then we'll add that up. And then give me a 5-digit number.
5-digit number, 10,492.
10,492. And then so 10,004. So now do 456 plus 6543 plus 10,492.
Okay.
And then press equals.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see what the number is.
17,491.
Yeah, 17,491. So that makes sense. That math adds up for you.
And that's what you're thinking.
We'll see. But I just because I want us to make sure that the math adds up, okay? And I'm holding it up this way so other people who are watching this, they can do this math themselves too. Okay. So Carrie, we're gonna let luck decide this next part, okay? So what I'm gonna do is because we've done 3, 4, and a 5-digit number, hold up one finger for me. Thank you for choosing that one. My mom's Scottish. That's how they wave in Scotland. No, so we're gonna add again, except this time hold it up like this. So, yeah, there you go. I like it. She's stern. We're going to add again, but this time we're just going to pick a random number because it's 17,491, but we're going to add, like, press like 6 times. I want you to try to avoid, like, kind of center left of the screen because if you hit over here, you might multiply your times or whatever, or press the equals button. So kind of like, just kind of press around like 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you saw the numbers being added in there. So, plus, okay, can you hold that for me so I can write this down?
200
200
013.
Oh, a lot of zeros. 1 3. Okay, and then press equals, and then we'll do equals 217504. Okay, yeah. And then so can you just add that 200,013 to make sure that all adds up, Brian?
2000. Yeah.
No, you have 14. Wait.
Did I screwed it up somewhere?
Oh yeah, you're fine. The math makes sense. I'll give you guys the math at the end to add this all up if you want to. So say I'm gonna write down.
Hold on. 456 plus 6543 plus 10492 plus
200,013.
Okay.
And then those
217504.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'll write this down. Let me write this down really quickly. The whole number. Okay, so 2, 1, 7, and then 5, 0, and then 4. Okay, so 217504, right? Yeah. So this, you guys could have picked any random number, right? Mm-hmm. You guys could have picked, and then we really picked random numbers. We did not set this up. This is really important for us for everyone at home to know. We did not set these numbers up. Completely random math. You guys can keep this. This would not be a pretty souvenir, but you can see the math all makes sense. Yeah. So you pick these all at random, and we're on the Hustle Northwest podcast, right?
Stop it!
Hustle Northwest.
How?
I thought it was going to be like, as a kid, you do like spell out boobs.
They say they would hustle.
Whoa.
What?
That's our magic number for the show.
That is your magic.
741. Oh my gosh.
We'll get you a prettier version of the number, but yeah, I want you guys to go ahead and keep this.
So your new password is Shadow 217504
midnight
or midnight.
Yeah, there you go.
Midnight hustle. No, never mind. That's just
So if anybody is still watching and wondering how I did this, we can do this at your event. I hope that we can do this at your event. Okay.
Oh my gosh! I want to have an event just so we can have him come. This is wild.
Yeah. Yay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
The bunnies got me too.
Man, this was fun. This was even funner, I think, the second time because I think we've been blown away.
Yeah. You get blown away?
We've been blown away.
You upped your game, man.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you.
I
appreciate it. Thank you.
So, Finn, thank you for coming on our show.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me.
Thanks for.
And how do we find you?
So, go ahead and look up finnjoseph.net on my website if you want to hire me. Go ahead and contact info@finnjoseph.net or contact me on Instagram at finnjosephmagic.
Yeah.
All right.
This was awesome. Thanks.
Thank you guys so much.